All right, this was sent into the channel for a review. I've been trying to get my hands on one of these for quite some time. I know everybody on this channel is very interested in LCR meters. I've done a whole bunch of videos on LCR meters, and I think people enjoy those. And this is a nice handheld unit by ZOYI. And I used to have an LCR meter by Unity, which I really enjoyed, and it was very much something like this. And I sold that unit because I wanted to buy something a little nicer, and in a moment of weakness I bought a Keysight 1733C. So we're going to be comparing the two. Now this is $600, this is about $75, so I'm just going to use this to make sure that the numbers that the devices that we're putting in here are accurate, and then we can see if this thing lives up to its data sheet or not. All right. So anyway, we'll be using that just as a check. The unit is battery powered, which are chargeable through USB port over here, USB-C. The one thing I really enjoy about this, first and foremost, is the display. The display is just gorgeous. I love the display. Now this measures L, C's, R's, and Z's. This particular unit has another trick. So this is the ZT-DQ02, and there's a 01. The 01 is just an LCR meter. The 02 adds a connector on the top for battery testing. It measures the internal resistance of batteries. I did a review on some other manufacturer's battery tester before, and I won't spend a lot of time on this one. We'll just show its functionality. I say if you want to buy an LCR meter, then just buy the 01. It's about $15 cheaper. I think this one runs about $90, and then the version that doesn't have the battery checker is about $75. So that's the one I would go for. Unless you really want to test batteries, then it's good to have this one. All right, so let's see what comes into the box. You get a manual. Zoom out here. You get a case. You get a bunch of leads. So first of all, you get really cheapy DVM leads. They'd be okay for like testing things in circuit, but I don't know if I would get a lot of use out of those. It does come with some nice Kelvin, not those. It comes with a nice set of Kelvin connectors, and so these are with 4 connectors. So if we just take a look at the red one here, okay, you've got 2 banana jacks and banana plugs, and then one of them goes to this contact, and one of them goes to that contact, and you put them in the instrument. One is a voltage sense, and one is a current. Okay, so you have current and voltage, and that does the testing. And so these are really nice, and they're included. All right. Sometimes you have to buy these extra. If you take a look at other people's LCR meters, a lot of times getting these Kelvin leads are extra. And then it comes with the, I just threw it away here. It comes with the weird little connector here that goes in the top, and then this is for battery testing. It's also Kelvin contact. It's for internal resistance of batteries, and you definitely need a Kelvin contact there because the internal resistance of batteries is in the milliohms, so very tiny. So that's included in this particular, in the 02. You get a charging cable, and then you get this weird piece of, looks like PC board. Now what this is for is when you're testing a lot of components. Let me grab one here. You're just going to be grabbing the component. You're going to be sticking it on the front here. There's contacts on the front, and you just put the part here, and it makes contact. There's a 2 pieces of spring metal and 2 pieces of spring metal, force and sense, okay? When you're using the Kelvin leads, you insert this into the device, and that keeps those things from contacting one another. It isolates all those, and then when you put the Kelvin leads in here, you're not getting fooled by it being grounded out here, and you don't get the full use of the Kelvin contact. So it comes with that, which is a little bit unusual. Okay, let's measure some things. All right, so again, we can measure L's or Z's or C's or battery voltage and internal resistance. Okay, so that's this button lets you go round and round on that stuff, or it's auto. It's trying to do auto, and so if I actually put something in here, it figures out that it's actually an inductor about 21 microhenries. Okay. All right, so the frequency button is the test frequency. This goes from 100 hertz, 120, 1K, 10K, and 100K. So 100K is very nice. That's usually on premium devices. Usually they only go up to 10K, and this one goes up to 100K, so that's very, very nice. I'm going to leave it here at 10K. You can also set the frequency, the level of the voltage that's being used between 0.1, 0.3, and 0.6. You get better accuracy at 0.6. But if you want to do in-circuit testing, test the batteries or the capacitors in a circuit, you can set it down here to 0.1 volts, and then it won't go above any VPE drops, any diode drops, and you can do in-circuit testing with it. So that's a very nice function. There is speed. So I hate that thing bouncing back and forth. Let's put something back in there. All right. So the speed is the update rate. You can do fast, slow, or mid. Okay. All right. So let's put back to slow. The range auto. You can also set manual ranges, and then model. You can do a series model. See here, series or parallel or auto. So I did a video once about all those measurement devices, measurement techniques and stuff. All right, so here we've measured an inductor. So let's go ahead and check him out on this one over here. Let's make sure he is on 10. This one's at 10 kilohertz, so let's put this one at 10 kilohertz. 20.8. Let's put him over here, and he's actually 22.1. So let's talk about the accuracy of these 2 meters just for a second. The accuracy of the Keysight meter is going to be for resistance. It's about 0.2% plus or minus 3 on the count. Capacitance, it's around 0.2% plus or minus 3. You get the idea, right? It's very, very accurate. If we take a look at the accuracy of the ZOYI, we can see here capacitances are around 1% plus or minus 5 counts, or 5% plus or minus 5 counts. Inductance is around 0.5%, and resistance is around 0.3% plus or minus 5 counts. All right. So it's you get what you pay for, right? $75 versus $600. So that's what's going on there. All right. So let's test some of its accuracy, though. Let's see here. Let's put the Kelvin contacts in, and we will test some resistance. Let's do that. These in. Let's put this in. All right, I have this test board here which has 0.01% resistors, 0.01% resistors. So these are very, 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 very accurate, and I have gold contacts on them, so they should measure just fine. Let's go here and set this up for resistance. We're going to do Kelvin contacts to all of these, and oops. So 10 ohm resistor, 0.995, 994. Let's see here. This thing cords in the way. I want to make sure I video this good. All right, so the next one is 100, 99.9 something. Let's see here. Oops. 0.9996. We have really good resolution over on this meter too. We have lots of digits, right? 9.99. Okay, it's a little bit further off. And we have, this one's the higher ohms readings. It's kind of falling off, 99 point something. Yeah, so if it's 100, then we're what, 0.1% out? So that's still quite good. And then we go here. This is a 10 meg resistor, and it won't auto scale to 10 meg, so we have to manually scale it up. Let's see here. How do we manually scale it? Let's see here. Let's go up in voltage here. And I know I did the scaling once before. There we go. 6, 7 megs. Yeah, it's let's see. Relative hold. I thought I already did this one off camera and I could get it to read megohms, but it doesn't seem to be. Oh, there we go, 6.7 megas. Anyway, it's quite far off at high ohms. It doesn't do high ohms. It only does low ohms. Okay. All right. Let's see here. So let's do some capacitors because that's what most people care about. Inductors are fine. You don't have to be usually too accurate with inductors, but people seem to be wanting to do more fancy things with capacitors. So let's go ahead and set this thing up for capacitors, and we'll get this one set up just for fun. We're back. Let's see here. Let's go to capacitance over here, and we will go to capacitance over here. All right. And then let me get out some cal standards. Now these cal standards that I have were measured on an really expensive Keysight LCR meter that I had on loan for 1 month, and I created a bunch of standards, okay? And so all the standards were done at 10 kilohertz, and so we will put in, and I even have the numbers written on them. Let's see if the numbers are still valid. 596 and a half, 597.2. Let's put it back in. 597.2. Okay, let's put it in over here. 596.3. Yeah, it seems to be a little bit closer than this one. So there we go. This one's measuring spot on. Let's try another one here. This one is 596.73. 597. So this is measuring a little high. And 596.58. Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, let's try some other ones here. This one is a 158 picofarads. It should be 158.4. 158.4, there we go. So this is measuring perfectly. 158.4, yeah, 161, okay? A little bit out. Let's just try a couple values. These are very, very expensive capacitors. This one is a 525. Last time I measured it with a calibrated machine, it was 525.5. It's not making contact. 520. There you go. So 525. The leads are a little bit corroded. They still have a little bit of. There we go. 525.3 should be 520. Yeah, 0.5. Okay. And over here we get 527, so this one's measuring a little bit high, but still right in the ballpark. So I'm really pleased with the machine. The one thing it doesn't do well is this is a 2.06 picofarad. Let's pop him in over here, and he's 2.009. The last time I measured him, he was 2.06. All right. You can see that we have a 0.6 offset in here. We could calibrate this thing. We probably should do a calibration, but I'm not going to do that on camera. But we will do a null. I'll just do a quick calibration, null. And then when we put it in, we have 2.15. And then over here, we have 2.1. So you can see that we don't really have any resolution over here at the low end. We only have 0.1 picofarad resolution, whereas on this machine, you still have lots of resolution. So it does measure down low. It's doing an okay job, but it doesn't have a lot of resolution on the low end. All right. Let's measure some big ones. We'll just do this. We'll just do this one here. Here's an expensive 0.3% capacitor. Last time I measured it, he was 100.17. Let's see here. Come on, you can do it. Auto range. What's the matter with this thing? You can do it. There we go, 100.1, and it should be 100.16. Okay, let's put him in over here. A little bit tight in over here. 100.1, so perfect. So the meter's doing exceptionally well, except at the very, very bottom end. So I say, let's go ahead and measure some resistance. We did measure resistors, so I think that's enough for this particular review. I would highly recommend this. I think it's great. It's certainly all the accuracy that you need for the garage, and I love the display. It comes with the Kelvin leads and everything. It's all set to go. It is rechargeable. This thing takes 9-volt battery, so rechargeable is nice. Highly recommended. Really, really nice product. Okay, I know people are going to say, wait a minute, you didn't do the battery test. Let's go ahead and do the battery test. That's not really what this video is about, but we'll do it. So up at the top here, we can put the connector in, and we can set it to battery mode. There we go. And we're in battery mode. I need to find a battery. This should be one. Should be one laying around my. Here we go. Here's a AA cell, and so we'll just hold our leads on the battery, and we're getting 80. I guess it changes colors if it's good or bad. I don't know. I don't know why it's changing colors, but anyway, around 100 milliohms, 91 milliohms for that particular battery. So anyway, got to see it work. All right, that was my review for the ZOYI ZT-DQ02.